everyone. I'm Jody Perowitz. My father is Dave Perowitz. These are all custom motorcycles that we built at the shop, Perowitz Cycle Fab. We're from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. My dad and I are here hanging out at Biketoberfest with the All-State booth. And we're going to go over these bikes a little bit, and then we're going to kind of go back and forth with some question and answers off of each other. So why don't you start, Dad? You want to...
Okay, well, I guess we'll start on this side. This road glide right here is my present transportation here. It's a great bike. I absolutely love it. It's an 05 road glide, and we gave it a little bit of a facelift. I raked the frame 6 degrees, 23-inch wheel in the front, 18 on the back. They're RevTech wheels, RevTech brakes, rotors, a few other things, and it's all American-made stuff. Russ Wernemont supplied the front fender, the gas tank, and the extension and bag fillers for the rear fender. Milwaukee baggers are the extended saddlebags, and all of this stuff that we use is all tried and true, and it's the best stuff on the market. The paint is PPG, and it's a flat clear and a shiny candy red. It's a little different. If anybody told me 2 years ago that I'd be painting my own bike flat black, I'd tell them they were crazy.
That's right, because you talk our customers out of black.
But it's pretty current as far as the styling goes, so hey, here it is. But it's a great bike to ride. I rode it home from Sturgis this year, 2,000 miles in 3 days, and it was a great ride. The next bike, well, we'll go back to the scooters. Let's move over here. This one here is a little board tracker that we built. It's got an 100 cubic inch Indian motor in it, Harley 5-speed tranny, VDL belt drive. The frame, the front end, and a few other components are all from Paco. And it's got 23-inch wheels on it, front and back. And the thing handles great. It's a really fun bike to ride. It's got a lot of little things that we made. We made the exhaust, the gas tank, and oil tank, rear fender. All of that stuff was made in the shop, and it's got PM brakes on it. And it's a great little bike to ride, and it is for sale. The next one is Jody's current ride, so I'll let Jody talk to you about that one.
Okay, this is my new bike. We finished this right before Sturgis, so I've had a little bit over 2 months, but I have been riding it, trying to ride it every day, but at home. We're from New England, so the weather's changing, and I'm sure that's going to be short-lived. But this bike is a redneck frame. It has a Fuel XP powertrain in it. The seat is a Zion Leathers out of Long Island. The exhaust is an M4 canister, and then we made the rest of it at the shop. It has a fuel rear wheel, and we had a 21-inch front wheel made with perimeter brakes. The front end is an RMD Curta front end, and we modified it and made the cuts and the stars in it. The handlebars are Kano bars with Brembo controls and Todd Cycle grips. And the paint is PPG paint with graphics that Keith Hansen and I kind of worked together on and designed. Did I miss anything, guys?
No, I think you got it pretty well covered, but it's a great little bike. It's a lot more comfortable than it looks. It handles good. Jody's been putting a lot of miles on it, so it's worked out really well. This last bike over here is a 1955 Panhead. It's a 55 motor and transmission in a 52 frame, wishbone frame. And we built this as a 60s era chopper. We raked the neck and put a 2 overextended springer on it from Paco. And it's got one of my signature series paint jobs. The seat is from Zion, and it's got a VDL belt drive with an electric start. And it's a neat little bike. He made the pipes and, you know, a few other things, but the customer we built it for loves it. And then if we go back over here, we'll hit the All-State scooters. These two little scooters are Sears All-States. Back in the 60s, you could go to Sears Roebuck and you could buy either one of these scooters right at your local Sears stores. This one here is the top of the line, and this one here was $500, 250 cc's. And then this little one over here was 175 cc's, and it retailed for $279. So for $279, you could buy that little scooter and scoot around town. Now we have the All-State bike. This is the giveaway bike from the year. We try to do something a little different each year, and this is kind of a shorter version of a Pro Street. It's a Rolling Thunder rigid frame, and we used another Indian motor. It's a 100 cubic inch Indian motor. We put 2 front cylinder heads on it. That's why it has the 2 carburetors coming out the left side. And of course we made the pipes, and we made a lot of stuff on this bike. It's got a first front end and PM wheels, PM brakes, and it's got extra stopping power with a 6-piston front caliper and a 13-inch free-floating rotor. The rear brake is, it's got a radial brake set up on the rear, and the paint is PPG. It's oh-so orange, and it's pretty bright, and we had to put the All-State blue in there, and so this is the bike that's going to be given away at the end of the year, and some lucky winner will take this home with them. So if you haven't registered, step over and see one of the girls, and it only takes you a minute. It doesn't cost you a thing, and you can register to win this bike.
Like I said, I've been riding my bike a real lot, and so has Dave. He rode a 2,000 miles home from Sturgis in less than 3 days. So we definitely ride all of our bikes. All of our Heroes custom bikes are meant to be ridden and meant to be stored in a garage or covered up or made in, museum pieces. But we have had a couple of bikes actually in a museum, in an art show. Just recently, last week, my father and I went into Boston, and we had 8 bikes in an art exhibit, which was really cool because it was just something different for us to do, and it got a really good turnout, and the bikes looked really cool, set up in the window displays in Boston, right in downtown. So that was pretty cool. That's something cool that we do. Our shop is pretty small, but we also have a full service department. We have a full parts department, and our custom side. We build anywhere from 10 to 15 bikes a year. That's ground up customs, and then we do other stuff like Dave's Road Glides. We will give it a complete facelift, tear it all down, make it cool, and put it back together. So if any of you guys are ever in the area, stop by. We're about 30 miles south of Boston, and also you guys can check out our website, heroists.com, and we also have a blog, life@heroists.com, where we post all kinds of events and stuff, and make sure to check out our Facebook page. I try to post a lot of stuff on there. I posted some pictures yesterday from Daytona already, and also posted that on Dave's page, so check those out. Check out Heroists on Facebook.
And our specialty is paint. That's what I started out doing 40 years ago, is doing custom paint. So, people think that we only paint the stuff we do. We paint anything, any bike anyone has, it needs a paint job. We'll be glad to talk to you about it, and we do a lot of mail order stuff as far as paint goes. So, before you jump to conclusions, come and see me about a paint job, because it may not be as expensive as you might think.
Alright, Dad, hey, let me ask you, what was your first bike?
My first bike was a 1964 Sportsman.
What did you do to it? Because I know you didn't have it stock.
Well, the first time I tore it down, we just molded the frame and added some chrome and a fat tire on the back. But back then, that was pretty much what you did. I rode it like that for 1 year, but then the next year, we cut the neck off, we extended the neck 12 inches, and I had a 19-over Springer, and put a hardtail on it. So it was a real chopper. It had a king queen seat and pull-back bars.
Alright, I'm sure it was pretty cool. I wasn't around to see it, but...
Well, I sold that bike after, a year or two, and I got all the money for it back then, and I sold it for $2,400.
All right. Well, if you guys have any questions, come up here and ask us. I'm Jody Turowitz. This is Dave. If you guys want to sign up for the bike, see these girls over here in the tent. And also, if you want to post it, we're willing to sign and post it for you to take home. So come by and check us out. Come on in. Come look at the bike. And that's it.
Yeah. And like I say, anybody needs anything, any questions, don't hesitate. Come over. We'll be here.